Good evening, y'all. What's happening? This is just an impromptu live where I'm going to be sharing some thoughts. I'm definitely going to be doing mixtures of audio only and audio and video. Um, I tested one of these out last year. Some of you guys were on in December where I was just doing audio. And the reason why I like audio sometimes is, well, number one, you don't always like to be on camera, but I think that people can listen a little better too sometimes when there's less distractions and visuals around and it is just an audio. And also, this gives me the opportunity to just throw on a live at any time instead of having it be planned or where I have to be sitting at my computer. So this is just some unfiltered dialogue about forming good habits. Now, the thing with forming a good habit, hold on, I'm just trying to get to the screen where, oh, it looks like I can access all my stuff on my phone app because I don't usually use the phone app. So here we go.
Let's have a conversation.
MC, just so you know, I considered putting you in timeout for that, but I'm gonna let it slide. Amazing. So, anyways, habit forming. People have different theories about how many days that it takes to form a habit. I was looking some up right before I hopped on here. 21 days, which I've heard before. I've heard, I read 66 days. I think that I saw somewhere someone said at least 90 days. I've seen 6 months. Okay, so everyone has a different theory on how many days it takes to form a good habit. I want to say something different than what you've probably heard before. The days of which it takes to make it a habit doesn't actually matter. Those are really just mind tricks. Honestly, I know that people go and do studies, case studies, and they make people do certain things, and probably they try to have people add things into their life that they weren't doing. They asked them survey questions about it, and then it was like, oh, we found that most people were able to add that positive habit into their life in 21 days. Okay, that's um that's a theory. Hey, Latasha. Good afternoon. It's evening for me. Still want another pick of that beard. So that's a theory. The amount of days that it takes for you to form a habit, and sometimes those kind of statistics are good. Don't get me wrong. But before you're actually going to be able to add that good habit into your life, the first thing you need to do is to find your reason why you're doing it. if you don't have a reason why, even if you spend all those days getting that habit into your life, if you never had a reason why you wanted to put that habit into your life, then you're not going to continue with it. And I can give you an example of something that I've learned through years of working in the mental health field. This is not really going to be a really technical one because even though I have read about this stuff, I'm not going to go out of my scope of service to make it sound like it's medical advice that I'm giving you. Is just kind of a general example. So somebody comes into the office and says, I need to quit smoking. And you ask them why. And they're like, well, it's expensive, or my spouse told me to stop, or people around me don't like the smell of the smoke in the car or in the house or whatever. That's not a reason. That's not really a personal reason for them as to why they want to stop. Other people told them they don't like it, or, well, the money one could be. The money one could be like, it's expensive, so I want to quit. But the point I'm using that example is like, you can tell them, okay, I'm going to put you into a smoking cessation group. We are going to talk to you about all the reasons why smoking is bad for you, and we're going to show you what it does to your lungs and all this different stuff, and give you some reading material and have you join certain groups. And it's like, it's possible that that could make you stop for a while. But if you didn't have a real reason of your own to start in the first place, then it's going to be a fleeting result, a fleeting and a temporary result. Money can be a good motivator, but I'm guessing, though you haven't gotten to it yet, true change comes from having incentive. Yeah, that's a good point. It's not even that I haven't gotten to it yet, because this is really an impromptu. I want to do these once in a while. I do love putting together my PowerPoint slides and making them like educational and all that good stuff. But I do want to have some times where I'm just flexible and give you guys some just unfiltered thoughts and opinions. So that's why I'm hopping on and doing this as a mix up, as a change up every once in a while. I'm going to do them just like this. Hi, Dolly. How's it going? Give him the whys to quit. So I can give you guys my best example, which I'm sure all of you will know what I'm going to turn to by this point, which is fitness. Um, I've been doing fitness for years, so there has never been really a year of my life where a year went by and I did not do fitness, aside from the year that I was very unwell mentally. But any year that my mental was good, I always did fitness in some capacity. But in my adult years, especially, my fitness was, my weight specifically was fluctuating greatly every single year. And I mean like an 100-pound swing every year. And when I say 100-pound swing, I don't mean I gained 100 pounds, but what I mean is I would be at a certain weight, and then from, let's say, November through April, if the winter lasted that long, I would gain 40 to 50 pounds during that time period. And then when it gets warm out, May, June, July, August, September, some of October, I would grind it out and lose the majority of that weight. I always wanted to look good. I wanted to have rock hard abs and strong biceps and strong shoulders, strong back muscles, and all that stuff. That's what I wanted. Even from when I was a teenager, I was wanting that stuff. But I never had a reason why. I was just moving just to move. So that's why my results were fluctuating so much. That's why my motivation was fluctuating so much. That's why everything was going up and down. I'd find a new system, I'd find a new diet plan, I'd find a new workout routine, and it would work for a while, for a little while. But then I would always find myself rebounding and going back to where I was before, or in some cases even worse than I was before. And I was getting tired of this. Um, I didn't go searching for a why. The why found me, honestly. I don't know if other people have had other experiences where they sat down and tried to figure out what their why was. But for me, it just happened. And the way that it happened was because there's a stroke history in my family. There's a big stroke history in my family. And my why before thinking about that, it was always aesthetics. I want to look this way. I want to look this way. I want to look this way. And it became more than I don't want to look this way. It became more than I just want to look this way when my dad got sick, really, because even though there was that stroke history, those people were not around me for me to see them with my own two eyes decline right in front of my very eyes. So it changed my why to like I want to if I live, 30 more years to get to the age of my folks, I want to be able to be in total control of my mind, my body. I want my body to be a premium vehicle that can take me through life so I can still enjoy my life when I get to certain points and stages and ages. And that why is never going to go away. Doing good, Dolly. Planning a trip to our old stomping ground. Your hard work is paying off and getting you to your goals. On a great headspace, working on adding the finishing touches on a few videos and getting ready for work. When it hits closer, I think it has more weight. Yeah, and you know what? I don't know why, but well, I do know why. It's because of short staffing issues. But they have given me, in my years of work in the mental health field, a lot of substance abuse clients or patients. And I don't have a history of substance abuse or anything like that, but I've had to learn how to relate and interact with the clientele that I've been working with. And that's okay, MC. This is not some real stringent conversation. As a matter of fact, I'm looking how I can add my link. I'm looking how I can add my link to see if anyone would want to hop on or anything. Um, yeah, one problem is I lose my train of thought too easily. That's the problem. So when I'm getting into a point, I don't even look at the comments. I just happen to look at that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, so when it came to talking to the substance abuse people, the ones that came in and said I should stop doing whatever drug it is that they were doing were the ones that were not trying to stop. They didn't have any desire to stop. The people that I found were actually giving me stories about how many months or years that they've remained clean was usually really attached to some kind of family situation. Like a lot of times it was a case of like a parent, let's say, that really screwed up with their children and then their children didn't want to talk to them, and X them out of their life, and then the kid, their child had their own children, so now they had grandchildren. So now their child was like, I'm not going to allow you to be in these grandchildren's life if you are not clean. And a lot of times they were like, wow, at this stage of my life, the only thing that I have is my family. So that's my motivation for getting and staying clean, is because I know that if I'm not clean, I'm not going to have my family, and then I'm going to have nothing. And then it might take me down this like dark rabbit hole where I'm just doing all this stuff, and there's nobody to stop me. There's nobody to pull me out of that. So you always have to have some kind of reason for doing it, and it has to be, I feel like it has to be something that even it's so strong that it uses your senses. Like it's something that you have to actually be able to visualize, see, feel, taste, touch, smell, like in your mind's eye. It has to be something that is that powerful. And the reason why I use the gym as an example, obviously it's the thing that I do the most. I know people see those Instagram pages or those social media pages where it's like, I'm always at the gym, just pumping some iron at the gym. I wake up and I eat weights for breakfast, and I just get up and I just jump out of bed excited to go to the gym. And I'm like, kudos to the people who feel that way. When you see me posting those videos of me at the gym, going to the gym at 5 in the morning, you don't see me doing that or saying that. You hear me like, I sat in my bed at 4:30 in the morning, contemplating everything about my life. And then I dragged myself out of bed. And then I stood at the door like, I should just go back to bed. And then I stepped outside and it was freezing outside. I post all those parts for a reason. And then I got in the car, drove to the gym, and sat in the parking lot of the gym for another 10 minutes. And I was like, I really don't feel like doing this. And then instead of just jumping right into my routine, I dilly-dallied around in the gym. Basically, there's plenty of days like that. Sometimes I've had entire weeks that go like that. The whole week went like that. But my why, the reason why I'm doing it is so strong that nothing is going to stop me from doing what it is that I need to do. But you don't have to have this strong why to start. And this is where they start doing the counts. The 21 days, whatever, the 60 days, the 90 days, whatever. You have to start somewhere. And you might not have the clear why, the very strong why at the beginning of when you start doing something, and you could start to find the why along the way. Oh, here we go. How did I not see this button? How did I not see this button? Hold on 1 minute. Yeah. Anyways, you can start to find your why along the way. So the reason they give you these counts is because they're kind of mind tricks to me. They're kind of like a mental way for you to be like, okay, I'm going to commit to doing this thing for 3 weeks straight. You're not necessarily going to even form the habit in 21 days without the why, but it is going to make it more routine for you. Like if you are trying to figure out your nutrition plan, at first it's going to be annoying for you to have to, once you've got the nutrition plan planned out, it's going to be annoying for you to have to go to the grocery store and cook all the food and put it in your containers and all that kind of stuff for the first week, and then the next week it's still going to be a little annoying. It could still be annoying forever, but you're like, this is a part of my routine. And we don't realize that when it comes to things that we add into our own routine. Because at work, you are going to do that thing that they gave you. Because if you don't do it, you know there's going to be some kind of consequence or punishment for that. So it's like if they tell you, make sure to put the stapler back after you finish using it, and you don't put the stapler back, you know that there's going to be some kind of punishment for doing so. So you're going to do it. When it comes to like a self-care item or a personal goal, I like that Van Hoot said there has to be some kind of reward, like we have to reward ourselves. There has to be a reward for doing good, and there also has to be some kind of consequence when we do bad. And I don't mean like self-deprecating or put ourselves down if we don't meet the goal that we set out, but we have to make some kind of consequence for ourselves. For an example, my trainer made the consequence when he was trying to get me to put this running during our off time when I'm not doing sessions with him. When he was trying to give me a consequence for that, if I did not complete my run, he would say, during our sessions, I'm going to add extra laps as cardio if you don't do your run on your own. And I never missed a running day after that because nobody is trying to do all this cardio and weights and HIIT exercises in the same workout. So I was like, I would rather get my cardio in during the time that I promised that I was going to get the time in versus having to do the extra when he's there, where it's going to be hard, number one, and he's going to push me harder than I might even push myself if I was just running by myself, because I would just throw on my headphones and run a little bit more casually than if somebody's like, pick up the pace. You're supposed to have a 8-minute pace. You got to keep going for those races. But the punishment was something that obviously still benefited me in some way. Yeah, so the gist of what I'm saying is the days, yes, there's different theories and studies on how many days it takes you to form positive habits, but spend time focusing on your why. And even if you have started and you're just saying like, I need this change in my life, but you don't really have a strong, compelling reason why, start on it anyways. But continue to think about your why along the way. And I promise you, once you have found that why, your goal is now, you're going to be on fire towards that goal. You're not even going to be thinking that it's optional not to do this habit. You're not even going to think it's optional. You're going to feel like you're missing something if you have not done that thing for the day. So this was just my quick, unfiltered message about positive habit forming. I'm also going to make an audio message, possibly right now or within the next few minutes, for my members group. So I will talk to y'all later and have a great evening if I don't come back on here again.